What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, J.H. Gibbons.
We'll see.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Achromous podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 23. 21, not 21, my gosh. 23 for our Hispanic-speaking community. Wow, I almost got that completely wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Achromous podcast. We're here another Sunday, another blessed Sunday. July the 4th weekend is next weekend. Man, I'm excited to see some fireworks, to eat some barbecue, to just drink some Kool-Aid, like just go all out in the community. I'm very excited to celebrate America. How about you?
America.
Yeah.
I think, in all fairness, of like we didn't really get to celebrate it the way we wanted to last year.
I forgot that even happened.
Right? Yeah.
It took me back to a very dark time last year.
Yeah. So we're gonna fast forward to now, and we are going to enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it as well. Spend time with my kids and just celebrating our independence.
Yeah. I mean, wow, what a day that was many years ago. And how far we've come as a country. You could either take that right or wrong. I mean, it's been the country is still going through some healing. There's still a lot of work to do as a society, but we are getting better. Believe it or not, contrary to what you may hear out there in the news or wherever you hear things nowadays, I think we as a society are starting to heal a little bit better and a little bit more effectively. And I can only hope that we are better at the end of this, because a healthy country is a great country. So I can only hope for the betterment of all of us living here and our safety and our well-being and the way we enjoy our privileged lives. I really hope that we continue to take that healing route. So
yeah, emotional maturity is going to play a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That conversation last week, I know that we can follow up on that and get more granular with what that really looks like and really dig in, maybe have a few guests on. I mean, that type of topic can go so many different ways. And for those who listen, thank you. We appreciate it. For those who have not been able to hear it, it's never too late. It's never too late. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share, make sure your friends see it. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that whenever the Achromous podcast launches a new episode, you will be one of the first to bear witness to greatness. That is the greatest thing you can ever hear, right?
Yeah, but we'll make it a little better than that.
God, here we go.
Yeah, there's one extra thing to add to it. Jay kind of left out. When you hit that button over there, that button that's down there, it's free subscription, folks.
Oh my God.
Free. So it's not going to cost you anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Free 99.
Just time and investment into some gems that are being dropped for you. That's what that is. So please, definitely share that great news. Be sure to hit that free button that subscribes to our content so that, again, as Jay said, you get it first, and share with your friends, your family. Let everyone know the good news. Let them in on this. We know that sometimes the best kept secret is what people like to do, but in this case, let's let it go. Let's share it, because we can attest to it definitely being beneficial to not just us, but to you and to, as we know, anyone else is going to come in contact with it. We guarantee at least one of something we've shared in content is going to be helpful in some fashion.
Absolutely.
So be sure to do that, guys.
And you want to know yet another best kept secret
that
you were not aware of?
What's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Achromous store is now live. Merchandise. We're talking hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, cups. Woo. iPhone cases, Samsung cases. We don't discriminate on phones. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce the launch of the Achromous store. You type in the achromoussstore.com. It'll take you right to all of these items, all the merchandise you can buy. Go crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It is the best that money can buy.
Absolutely.
You didn't know that. You had no idea.
You know what? Super excited about that. Super excited to hear that. So,
absolutely.
As you can tell, we true believers, we wear our gear.
Boom.
So you will be seeing more of that, especially with Monster, for example. So you'll be seeing in the form of Achromous.
Yes.
So we'll be sure to do that.
That thing is amazing.
It
I
is.
gotta tell you.
Running purely off that right now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it's been a long week, it's been a long day, and this episode is going to be pretty deep. So let's dive in, shall we?
Yeah, let's get to it after such great news like that. And
Yeah.
the Achromous store is up and ready to go. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for us to get into it, guys. So be sure again to check it out.
Yes.
Check it out.
Yes. Get that merch.
Get that merch.
Get that merch.
And yeah, let's keep the movement going.
Absolutely. The movement never stops, man. And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people love to move. A lot of people love to improve. A lot of people love to grow. They love, let me back up a little bit. They love the idea of all that. Oh, okay. They love the idea of progress. True. They love the idea of growth. They love the idea of improvement. True. But when that action gets in there, they sometimes back up a bit and not necessarily want to dive all the way in. Yeah. There are still certain fears that they may have. There are, there could be many things that they're thinking about. Is this going to work? If it doesn't work, what's going to happen to me? Or on the other side, what if this does work and I'm not prepared?
Very true.
That is a big fear that, many people tend not to think about. But let's talk about that a little bit though, because I do have a bit of a gripe with the industry. Ooh. The self-help industry, the industry that we are in. Yes. Right. So I'm sure people who are watching this eventually will give us backlash, especially if they're in the same industry, because they're like, yo, this is a business. We're here to make money. Forget the people and their changes and all that stuff. We want to make sure that we can make money over and over and over again. And the only way we do that is if we don't actually help people.
Oh, well, see, that's what we're not here for that purpose. No. Oh, no. We break the fourth wall. Yeah. So that's what's about to happen right now, Jay. So let us know what's going on.
Well, the industry has a bad name. Anybody that hears it, even if you're talking about life coaching, if you're talking about your self-help guru or self-improvement guru or a personal development master, any of these names come with backlash because of the bad name that the industry has right now. As you know, we as people, we're flawed, right? Yes. We're flawed as human beings, so we are not perfect by nature. Yes. Now, what ends up happening is that a lot of these gurus like to dictate what success should look like for everybody, right? Okay. You should have the boat, you should have the car, have the fancy house, have the job where you open your laptop, you have magical Wi-Fi on a beach somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and that is success. Anything less than that is not. So whenever anybody sees that, they're like, well, man, if I don't have that type of lifestyle, if I don't live that type of life, I am now a failure. So what ends up happening is that all these people keep coming back to these self-help gurus. And the thing about these gurus, the number one thing I don't like about them is that they are just dishonest from the get-go. They're dishonest from the jump about what actually happens with the mind, what happens with habit building, what happens with a person in general. The other thing is that we're all different, right? Yes. We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different ways of living, different lifestyles. And it gets to a point where a lot of these people are getting mixed messages at the same time. So it's like, man, okay, hustle, grind, push, no rest, 5 hours of sleep. I know you've heard that all the time with all these successful people saying and bragging about themselves getting 2 hours and 3-hour naps and all that stuff, because the money, man, it doesn't make itself. But then on the other side, you hear people saying, you got to get your 8.5, 9 hours sleep. You got to meditate. You got to rest. Let things happen. Things will get there. So immediately you're like, I'm stuck in the middle. This one guru is telling me I got to go, go, go. Don't stop. Grind. Hustle. Bang, bang, bang. This other guy's saying, bro, just take a nap. Relax. Chill. So do you think that there is a happy medium between those two? Or do you think that the one side is telling you to push, 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 and the other side is telling you to chill? Or are they both right?
Ooh, I wonder if both are guilty of setting unrealistic expectations within either choice that you decide to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're selling a lifestyle.
Absolutely, but I think it also depends on what resonates with you more so as a person, your individuality, of what would draw you in more, right? So if you're more extroverted, as opposed to, introverted. I think something like that plays a role too, because I think it really just kind of comes down to the person.
So even there, whether you're introverted or extrovert, I mean, it seems like society tends to downplay or disregard or disrespect, quite frankly, introverts.
Yeah,
In our
I
society in
agree.
America, again with the whole go thing, people always like you have to have a type A personality. You got to be the
Right.
guy that's the leader,
Mm-hmm.
the head of the pack, the wolf. That's what you have to be successful. But
Mm.
what you're saying is that you can also be an introvert and be very successful.
Okay. You can be. Yeah,
Mm,
I
okay.
I agree. You could, but I
Yeah.
think it just depends on the approach of it.
Mm,
But I mean, I guess it goes back, to just what you were saying. Like, I mean,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I have to kind of ask the question, like, well, do you think you could be successful as either
Mm,
in one way or the other, or is there truly, like you asked me, is there truly a right way of going about it? I think I would measure it up to, really, again, just going back to expectations of what's realistic
mm,
and what's doable. Can you
mm,
can you probably push hard like that and get 3 hours of sleep and whatnot? Yeah, you could, but the reality of it, to me,
mm,
realistically, is it's not sustainable.
mm.
Like, physically, it's just not,
That
it's
part.
not sustainable
You
for you
will
to
dig
be able to
yourself
do
into an
that.
early grave,
As opposed
maybe.
to, like, yeah, no, oh, no, 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 yeah,
I mean,
because
there are some out there that are,
that will push
yeah,
you. Not,
yeah,
I feel like you wouldn't be able to generate the best results for
that's
you,
true.
because you do need quite quite a bit of good rest properly
Mm,
for your mind. Like I do know, like, there's things that, this might be a little slightly off topic, but, like, for
mm.
example, with, like, taking a nap, like, sometimes it's recommended, right? Where,
True.
like, maybe you take like a 20-minute nap, 30-minute nap, and you wake up, you well rested.
Right.
I've done those sort of things where I've taken like a 20-minute nap, and it's been effective for me. But
Mm,
I do think, like, for back on the subject, I think that's just too strenuous on the body.
mm.
Where some, yes, people could perform high like that and they could push, but at some point you reach a burnout, you max
Yeah,
out that, and
that's true.
then you have the other side of it where, like, and I don't really want to put that. It's kind of hard to not do it, since that is kind of where we are in the topic of it,
Mm,
where you get the 8-9 hours of sleep or whatnot, where it's like kind of go and coast. But again,
mm.
that's the whole, like, quick to think, slow to respond kind of take your approach.
Yeah.
Kind of think of it as like the whole East Coast, West Coast, with the
Yeah,
Cali
yeah, there's
vibe
definitely a different vibe.
and,
There is
and the New
definitely,
York
oh my
vibe.
God.
That's more like
Oh
what you
my
said
God.
about that
Yeah.
on the go. That's
Yeah,
a New
yeah,
York
yeah,
vibe.
yeah. That
And on
is.
Cali, that's more of a,
Yeah. Oh.
kind of passive, smooth, go about your way, but the
So
objective's the same.
that's interesting because I'm thinking about the differences in weather, right? Cali is always beautiful. It's always,
Yeah,
like a
it is.
65 between 65 70-degree weather,
Yeah.
nice breeze, beautiful sunset, sunrise.
Hmm.
That vibe kind of goes with that. But
Right.
then in New York, the winters are brutal, right? So I mean, from like after Labor Day until like freaking April, it's just devastatingly cold.
Is that's why no one
So,
wants to sleep?
well, I don't know. I think that's why people are just more cranky. They're more like, I don't know. I really don't know. I think, I think part of it is the environment
Mm,
that you're in, especially if you're raised in a certain place and then you stay there, like you just go accustomed to it. If somebody from New York who's lived there for 40 years comes to Maryland even, right? Which is
mm,
about a 4-hour drive,
mm.
they'll see a difference. I see a difference when I go from New York to like New Jersey, and then like I'd see a difference in traffic. I see a difference in drivers. People are driving more cautiously. They're more like, okay, you want to come in front of me, go right ahead. It's more of
Mm.
a politeness. It's not a go sort of aspect to I need to get to this place now. And it's
So,
yeah,
so I'm curious. So in your opinion, since we're sharing the enlightenment of it,
yeah.
what are these folks behind the industry? What's their, objective on either end?
On either the side of go or chill.
For
Um,
the, consumer.
I mean, I guess it just depends on the audience, I mean, the thing about the self-help industry, it's a
Mm,
business, like it's an industry. So
right.
you got to make money. And any of these people who are, holding seminars or classes or making books or courses, whatever, part of it is them being in it to make money. So while they may have their specific keys to success that maybe they followed, and it resonates with them. They, for whatever reason, they struggle to put that in a book or to put that into information that's digestible for us, for the end user, for the consumer. Because at the same time, you got to think like these self-help gurus got to where they are based on a number of factors, not just anything that they put in the book, right? I can't be Tony Robbins. I
Right.
can't be
Yeah, I
any of
get
these
it.
guys. They're different. They're just different
Yeah.
people.
Mhm.
So, it's nothing against Tony Robbins. He's
Yeah.
been very successful.
Right.
He's world renowned. Everybody knows who that is. But
Right.
it's his style is, it's different than maybe James Clear's style
Mhm.
or whomever, Tim Ferriss, like all of these guys, they're in that same industry and they have different approaches. But to me, it seems like they are all right because I don't think there's just one way to get to that path to help yourself or
Okay.
to learn self-development ideals or a specific ideology that some of these people may be preaching. But I do think the dishonesty comes in terms of the pacing.
Okay.
I think from some of the books that I've read personally, there's a lot of fluff in it. There's a
Mhm.
lot of information that isn't necessary to the topic at hand. And I think a lot of that information, it gets the dopamine releasing in your brain. Like
Okay.
some of it is motivational, some of it is, I was broke, I was on a kitchen floor, I slept in it. It seems like each and every person is trying to upgrade their struggle. It's like they're competing to see who struggled the worst and who ended up on the other side the best. Like what
Mhm.
range is the furthest? Like you had to almost be homeless chewing on rats every day to living in a castle in Monaco, right? Like it
Yeah.
seems like that's where the range is. And so
Hmm.
a lot of people can't relate to that sort of difference. And the minute they may face adversity, they may not know how to handle it properly because again, you mentioned sustainability, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the things that they may be doing, a lot of things that some of these gurus may be writing about just isn't sustainable for the end user. It may work for them to get them to that point, but times change, society changes, people change. So I think that the dishonesty in the industry from the gurus is something that affects not just the industry, but of course the people, the end user, the consumers,
Mhm.
because they of course drive the industry. But then it makes it even more complicated because in order to drive the industry, you need people who continuously need help. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like I understand why they're doing the things they're doing, meaning the gurus or the people who are selling these products and services,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the end user is affected negatively because they're not, it doesn't seem like they're picking up the right things or the things that these gurus are in some cases trying to put out or maybe not even trying to put out, but they're not picking up these things. So you will have person A who will continuously buy a self-help book for 15 bucks and then they have to get into the self-help class for another 200, then they have to go on this retreat for 4,000,
Mm.
and the only thing that is changing in the process is their pockets because they're spending a ton of money on these things, believing that that $4,000 retreat is going to change their life forever.
Because at that point, it truly becomes an investment.
It
It really just becomes
does.
an investment.
It's a massive investment, and look, the investment itself could be worthwhile, but I think there are things that the end user, meaning us,
Mhm.
I think that we are missing certain things when we get into this realm of thinking that we're not enough or that we can only be successful if we pay an exorbitant amount of money to take one of these courses or to go on one of these retreats, and then it always ends up negative on the back end.
So then I would say at that point, as a consumer,
Mhm.
what should my thought process? Where should my thought process, or how should I approach this? If I want to get into the self help like kind of um, approach as a consumer,
As a
as
consumer,
a consumer,
okay.
like to be able to understand when I may have encountered something that's not for me, that's like not a very resourceful, helpful, self help
Mhm.
advocate that's out there for me, as
Sure.
opposed to one that may be, for example, us. So, what does a healthy self-help advocate look like? What do that look like to the consumer? And as a consumer, where should my mindset be in the process of self-improvement?
Well, I think to start off, you got to start from ground zero. You got to start at the 1%. You got to start with numero uno, and that's understanding your purpose.
Okay.
Like, I think you have to know what you want to help yourself with. The self-help industry is so massive, right? It can be so broad. Like, you're talking just let's just take personal development for an example. What exactly do you want to develop from yourself?
Okay.
Do you want to decrease your stress level? Do you want to stop procrastinating? Do you want to build healthy habits? Do you want to learn how to grow a business? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain muscular strength? There's so many different things that go into personal development. So when you read a generic personal development book or take a personal development class, whatever, it's so broad that it isn't specific to exactly what you need.
Makes sense.
So I think the first thing you need to understand is exactly what you want to change about yourself. What do you want to prove upon? Even learning another language, that is a good example. So when you learn another language, you're not about to buy the course today and then, I don't know, go to Spain and think that you'll know every single one. Like, that's not how it works. But what ends up happening is that's the approach that people take with self-development.
That is true.
They buy a service, and they buy a book, and they're like, boom, okay, I got the secret, I got the answers here. I'm just gonna skim through it, whatever. I'm not, and they don't take the time to practice. But as I back up here a little bit, you have to understand what your purpose is. You have to know exactly what it is that you want to improve about yourself.
Okay, so once you understand the fact that you should not look for instant gratification in this process, so that you can truly understand your purpose.
Sure.
I understand my purpose now. Okay. Where do I go from here?
So the next step I think you would have to do is you would have to take action.
Okay.
So taking action could look like several
things. I was going to ask you,
right?
What does that look like?
Right. So if you are, let's use us for an example, right? That's a perfect example. So if you said, okay, today I have a bad habit, right? I have a bad habit of eating unhealthy foods.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I can't stop. So the purpose that I have in order to eat better is because I want to live longer for my children. I just got married, or I just had 2 children.
Yes.
And my life just changed. I had a pair of twins, and I want to live for them. Before I didn't. I had no purpose. I was stringing it along. Yes. I had a woman who was with me. We did what we did, and now they're babies in front of me. I mean, the minute you hold those children in the hospital, you're like, I need to change my life. I have to do better for myself, for my family, for my kids.
Right. Okay.
So boom, there's my purpose, right? So the next step, what you do is you have to understand that there is a process you're about to undertake.
Okay.
There's going to be a long, arduous road that you're going to have to go through, a path that has not been walked by many, a path that is going to take you. At the end of this path, there will be success. Yes. What that success looks like is dependent on you. But at the same time, you have to fall in love with that process. You have to fall in love with that journey. That is the one thing I think people tend to miss when they are going the route of trying to help themselves. The work is too hard. They're taking everything on immediately, and they're not pacing themselves. Maybe the thing that they're trying to improve on is not the actual thing that they need to improve on. Maybe their purpose is exactly right. Yeah. Maybe their purpose is not exactly lining up to what they're trying to improve on. So that's why, as I said, it starts with understanding what that purpose is. Then the second thing is falling in love with that process. Okay. You have to know that this is going to be something that's going to be life-changing. It's a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle change. Lifestyle. Exactly. Yes. Which means that it's not even that you don't revert back to your old ways, but you don't even have a desire to do so. You completely forget about you forget about all those things controlling your life, especially if it comes to eating unhealthy food. Yeah. You have a better relationship with food. It's not so much of I'm never going to eat this, no. You love yourself enough to know that you want to put stuff inside of your body that also shows that you love yourself.
Okay.
So everything is sort of locking stuff with each other.
I agree.
So it makes more sense to go that route. But I think the reason why when people have a hard time is because they take it too far too fast, because they don't love the process, and they may not fully understand what their purpose is.
Which then ultimately makes it harder to sustain it. And what if, so as you have your destination set for yourself, and you kind of know your purpose, the
Sure.
objective
Yep.
ahead, you kind of know your blueprint as you're building along,
Right.
and then you hit those adversities where it does get difficult due to
Right.
life events to
Sure.
sustain them.
Right.
Then how do you ensure yourself that you are able to adapt and adjust? Like, what does that look like through those
Well,
process?
I really think that you have to, first of all, I think it starts with mini milestones. I know we've talked about this on many of the podcast
Yes.
episodes. And if you haven't already, subscribe, like, share,
It's
hit that
free.
notification. God,
It's
there goes that
free.
word. There goes that word.
It's right there.
Anyway,
hit it. It's free.
Anyway, enough of that word. But what you have to do is, I believe, you really, once you get through those little mini milestones,
Yes.
you have to refine your process or your progress as you go. Like, not everything, it's not going to be linear, right? There are going to be times where you go up, you have down days, you have up days, things are going to work out, things aren't. But it's important to journal, it's important to take notes and really understand where you're going. I think a lot of the times when people are successful at what they do, there is an obsession as well as an emotional connection to their journey. It's something that's very deep. It's tied down within them. It's something that they no longer think about having to do. It's now part of them.
Okay.
Right? Instead of, for example, if it is something with food, instead of saying, hey, do you want the triple deluxe donut bacon burger with extra cheese? It's like, instead of saying I can't have that, it turns into I don't want it. I don't eat that. So when you put that command out there, it's no longer restricting. It's no longer like, oh, I can't, I can't do that. I'm on a diet. It's not something I can do. I wish I could, but I just can't. It's more of, I don't do that. I don't eat that.
Because it's not a part of your lifestyle.
Exactly. You knew what that purpose was, right? You fell in love with that progress or that process. And so you're like, wow, I'm really changing my life. I'm loving this. I got a pair of twins that I want to live for. And man, this is really good. Right. And then after that, you know what that destination is. And then you refine that process as you go. Because like you said, life events happen, things change. This process is not linear. So you're gonna have to take notes, right? Those mini milestones are gonna help, especially when it comes to eating. Hey, let me decrease my carb intake, increase my protein. What does that do to my body? Is it reacting the way I want it to? Oh, it's not. Let me refine this a little. Maybe I added a little bit more fat. Take you see what I'm saying? You're manipulating things to see how it works for you. That is self-help.
That is
seeing how something works for you, because everybody's different. You're different. He's different. I'm different. Everybody's different. So while your approach may be different, the results are going to be the same. As long as you understand your purpose, as long as you fall in love with that process, you determine that destination, and you refine the process as you go.
Well said. Well said. That is I think that's a great example of putting it into terms as a consumer.
Yeah.
Where again, at the end of the day, it's really about you and knowing yourself, or taking the time to learn yourself enough before you even begin to venture into the self-help industry and what it offers. So it goes back to you first, again, taking the time to understand your purpose. Really, because again, the last thing you want to do is invest time into a purpose that's not of your needs. It's not for you. So it's very imperative that I would say, put a list together, take the pros and cons as you're growing. From experience of prior to us, really, we've been doing this for quite a while now.
Sure.
Outside of just the podcast aspect, but like of learning, within our own individuality, of what that looks like and educating ourselves through our own personal growth. And, you know, for me, that was definitely a thing where I did. I took a list of pros and cons about myself, which, you know, ultimately kind of to help me on my journey, and deciding what was for me and my purposes, because you become to develop and you get to a certain point in processing this where you start understanding, identifying that your uniqueness and that you have a variation of skill sets and purposes that are for you. And the industry, as much of a bad rep as it gets, there are good content out here. There's great content that's very helpful, that has been helpful for me in different avenues of journeys. For example, such as mental health awareness. Like that's been, you know, there are avenues that's been very helpful. As a lot of people may know, we're really big on that. I'm a huge advocate on that. You know, as much as we preach healthy habits, you know, self-love, self-worth, self-care, self-love journey, healing journey. These are things and avenues that we preach that are all a part of Achromous in a lot of ways. So with that being said, it's really just a matter of what's, you know, applicable for you. At the same time, hey, look, we are also advocating fitness as well. And we don't set unrealistic expectations. We give you all of these things to be factual based upon experiences, based upon trial and error, where we're not saying anything, speaking on anything that we are not enduring and we haven't been through ourselves. So, you know, as a, you know, for on that side of the end of it, from the self-help industry, in most cases, you know, you would be more prone to want to invest into a business, because at the end of the day, it is a business of sorts, where it's an investment between us and you, the consumer. And you want to make sure that if you are investing in your time, your energy, your growth, your fun, your finances, that it's going to be something that's going to be beneficial to you as well. So I think, Jay, you did a phenomenal job breaking that down, sir.
Brother.
I think you did very well.
I appreciate that.
I think we've definitely helped to help that resonate with some folks and just kind of give some enlightenment on us. And in a lot of ways, you know, we really kind of want to know with everyone out there, you know, your take on it. Like, how do you feel about it? You know, what are your plans on improving yourself and identifying your purposes? Like, what would you like to do, and how would you like to go about it to make a better you today for tomorrow? What steps are you going to do to take to put into play for that, now that you have a better insight? We could definitely go more in depth. Look, guys, we could definitely go more in depth and reveal so much more to this industry that we're just not going to do
all day.
Right. So, but you know, besides, we're not trying to ruffle the bush here, but we just want to make sure that not just outside of our community, but for anyone that comes a part of here, to understand what that's like, so that you are set on the right course when approaching this. Because the worst thing to happen is to see this and become, you know, traumatized by what's out there, and then just walk away, because then no one's growing. And our purpose of what we're doing, we want to make a difference to any and everyone we encounter. So it's you know, it's the selflessness of what we're willing to do here, knowing what the repercussions of that can be for you know, long term. But we do believe in what we're giving. We know it's authentic, we know it's us, and this is what we're going to always do and give. So with that being said, guys, please, you know, DM us, you know, write us, let us know what your take on this is. You know, this is definitely something we could revisit in the future, Jay.
I think so. I mean, this is an in-depth conversation, really, and it touches close to home for us, because we've gone through self-development ourselves, self-help. I mean, we've done this, and I think, you know, besides the industry getting a bad rap, it's there's so much that we can do to help each other. It's not even funny. And that's why we put all this together. This is purely for you. I mean, he always says that F word that I can't say. Free. But Jesus, scared me. But it's like it's the reason why we do that is because if you have a society of people who are all going that way, who are all looking to improve their habits, to improve their life, improve their confidence, improve their relationships, improve, you know, they're just improve themselves. What type of world will we have versus one that we have now? Right? I mean, it's going to be a better world. It's going to be a better world for your kids. It's going to be a better world for everybody else out there who is growing up in our society these days. So I think a lot of people always ask, why would we give away stuff like this without cost? I can't say the word, but without cost,
Free.
or God, without cost, or just coming on here and literally releasing gems, like literally telling you the true methods to self-improvement. Like, why would we do that? We do that because we care. Honestly, like
Yes,
that's the only reason.
we do.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here recording this for you right now this Sunday, because we want to see you improve. We want to see you do better.
Yeah.
Because it feels so damn good when you know how worth it you are. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
It feels so good when you know your purpose. It feels so good when you love yourself. It feels so, that energy is unbelievably, overwhelmingly amazing. That is why we do this. That is why we do this, because it feels so good.
It's called joy.
Mm.
It's called joy, guys.
Damn.
And once you attain that, it's a whole different sense of enlightenment.
You know how many people look for joy in life and they still have yet to find it, man? Do you know how many people search for that?
You know what? You know why they have a difficulty in finding it? Because they don't realize that it starts within. And if you are your greatest adversary, and if you can conquer you and get out of your way from improving the way you could,
wow,
you'd be surprised. That joy, that joy is in you.
It's in there,
and people see it. People feel it. They see the glow. They feel it because it's there.
It's infectious, man.
It is infectious,
really
man.
Contagious.
And this is what we're trying to spread to you guys as well.
Absolutely. Good vibes
all the time, man.
Yes.
All the time.
Wow. Well, that was amazing. Of course, if you're new here, we'll take it easy on you this time. But to all those people who have been here and have still not subscribed, and still not liked, have still not shared, have still not hit that bell for that notification button, have still not seen us on Spotify, on YouTube, on Facebook, on IG, Instagram. I can't even talk, but I got something to tell you. I got something to spell out for you. Achromous. So easy to find. We are the only one of its kind.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. You need to get some of this. Now, there is an opportunity for you to change your life completely for the rest of your life. A whole lifestyle change. And I tell you, it's only 3 weeks long. Isn't that crazy? 21 days for a habit to stick.
This sounds really familiar.
Hey, doesn't it?
Sounds extremely familiar.
This is something that those gurus would tell you is not possible.
Yeah.
But it is. That's why it's possible. 21 days, right? 21 days. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in Achromous podcast history,
yes,
we will take a dive into one of the most incredibly life-transforming products there is on the market. Well, it has not been released yet, but it will be. January 1st, 2022, you will be able to take part in a journey that will change your life forever. The 21-3 method. Wow. Next Sunday, we get a chance to dive in. I can't even believe we're doing this.
Hey,
we're literally diving into the 21-3 method itself. And we will talk about how habit building could be a core belief for yourself. And we'll show you exactly what the 21-3 method is. We'll tell you exactly how habit building is entrenched in the 21-3 method.
Yes.
And how the 21-3 method could literally change your life in just 21 days. Imagine somebody telling you, bro, in 21 days, I will provide you the tools for you personally, to be successful. 21 days.
21 days, guys.
That's it. Just 21 days. 21 days to change your life.
Consistency, your purpose, and we're going to share the rest.
Yep.
Just be ready.
Boy, it is. Look, I got to tell you what, I can't really believe we're going to be talking about this next week.
Yeah.
I can't, because this is something that we've been working on tirelessly for the past few months.
Yes.
And though it will launch January 1st, 2022, we wanted to give you an opportunity to truly understand what this method is. We wanted you to see this method We wanted you to take part in this method,
Yes.
and we want you to be a part of this conversation next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week, next Sunday, on July the 4th weekend, what a time to celebrate your independence.
There will be fireworks and experience.
Woo! The 21-3 method.
Yeah.
Don't you dare miss it.
Don't. You won't. They won't.
They better not.
Nah, they won't.
They better not.
Nah.
The fireworks will be here live next week, y'all. Look, until next time, we want to thank you again. I am J.H. Gibbons.
And I'm Will C.
Peace.